Stepping Up to the Plate is the worst baseball podcast, worst baseball show. I don't know. I've kind of been undecided recently on what I actually officially want to call it. I kind of like show. I feel like show encompasses.
I like show.
A little bit more.
We stand out a little bit more.
Exactly.
Podcast,
yeah.
Show. Very interesting.
Yeah, very, very
Sounds professional.
Right? Okay, so let's stick with show.
Show. Worst baseball show.
Stepping Up to the Plate is the worst baseball show. Noah, I don't have to ask how you're doing. We're not even. I don't even think he has the patience for me to read you the itinerary for today, because he's been bursting at the seams. Have you seen that?
The Los Angeles Dodgers.
I can't. Just go ahead. Take it away.
Pathetic, pitiful, embarrassing, lackadaisical, unurgent, just disaster of a baseball team when it becomes October. Every single year, what happens is what's happening right now. It is failure. It is mediocrity. It is sad to watch the Los Angeles Dodgers. It is almost a statistical miracle what happens in October. It's the greatest advertisement to the fact that MLB postseason baseball is a completely different sport than the MLB regular season. I mean, the Dodgers are down 2-0 to the Diamondbacks right now, a team that won 84 games, and to be completely honest, I mean this with no disrespect to the Arizona Diamondbacks, but they're an incredibly mediocre team. They're just one of the most average teams in Major League Baseball, and they're destroying the Dodgers right now. It's 15-4 in the total score. They've scored
contest.
Basically, I don't think the Dodgers have not led for one at bat. It's not even close. I mean, they've been trailing by two or three runs at least every single time they've stepped up to the plate, all 18 innings.
I'm going to need you to pick it up a notch.
I'm getting to it. I am really angry, and we can point at so many different things for why the Dodgers they fail every October, and I don't want to hear it about. I don't want to hear it about 2020 because it's clearly an anomaly at this point. We know it.
Yeah, it's a fake season.
But it pisses me off because everybody is going to rush and do their classic blame Dave Roberts and blame the front office, who I do think is at blame for many things. But it's very fucking clear. When your star players don't perform consistently in the most important games of the season, you are not going to do well. Look at the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks are a mediocre team, but they get into the playoffs, and their star, Corbin Carroll, says, okay, I'm going to take my game up a level. It happens every single time a team wins a World Series. I mean, Yordan Alvarez takes it up a level in October. The list can go on and on and on. Freddie Freeman did it in 2021. I mean,
look where he is now, though.
Yeah, exactly. There is something about that jersey that is cursed. The Dodgers have won 3 of their last 12 playoff games. In every single one of those 12 playoff games, they had 100 wins and their opponent had less than 90, and they're 3-9. That's practically impossible. I mean, whether it's Clayton Kershaw, whether it's Mookie Betts, if you are a star player with the Los Angeles Dodgers symbol on your chest, you will fail in October. And we've seen it time and time and time again. And I don't want to sound like a boomer and do this whole thing on analytics like everybody else does. And it's not analytics, because analytics are why the Dodgers are so good in the regular season. But at this point, we have a big enough sample size to know that there is something that is different in October. And the Dodgers, of any other team, they have the least excuse for this because they have the most sample size in the playoffs. They play the most games. At this point, it's not a small sample size thing because it's been 8, 9, 10 years in a row. First of all, the crowds stink every single playoffs. The crowds are horrible.
They're dead.
There's not even close to the same energy levels in Atlanta, in Philly, I mean in Minnesota, and every other team in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Every other team in the playoffs, there's not the same energy level. And the players pick that up. It's the most uniform, basic, boring team I've ever seen. Freddie Freeman's great at baseball before October, but he is a just awfully boring human being. There is no energy when he does something well. It's the same thing with Mookie Betts. I mean, everybody loves Mookie Betts. He seems like a great guy. He is an incredibly boring person on the baseball field.
No shade to Mookie Betts, but have you seen his YouTube channel?
Yeah, his
podcast. My God, I can't. It's like he's trying so hard and this is coming from 2 dudes who are sitting here trying to be entertaining. So I feel a little bit awkward, saying that he's actively not entertaining, but he's so bland.
Oh, it's like
he's so vanilla.
It's watching paint dry, and it's on the field too. I mean, they act like they don't care. They act like they don't care. All the guys in this core. This is why I do blame the front office a little bit. all the guys in this core who have stepped up and had great postseason moments and big hits and can rise to the occasion, which most of them cannot. There's 4 that come to mind. Corey Seager, let him go. Cody Bellinger. I mean, how many incredible big moments did Cody Bellinger have in the 2017 World Series? 2021 NLCS Game 7, hits a go-ahead home run. Throws out a runner at the plate in the 10th inning of the World Series versus Red Sox. Gone. Let him go. Justin Turner was one of the best playoff hitters of this generation.
No question, yeah.
And they let him go. Jock Peterson. Jock Peterson has hit 5 home runs in the World Series in his career. 5. Let him go. Instead, we're going to keep Mookie Betts. Let me read off some Mookie Betts stats to you.
He came with fucking receipts.
I came with receipts because it's honestly a statistical miracle how bad these. I think the Dodgers would lose a 5-game series to the Oakland A's if it was in October. I truly, that was not a joke. I was not joking. Mookie Betts, 227 career at-bats in the postseason, 4 home runs. There are 17, I'm going to repeat this, 17 active players that have 5 plus more home runs than Mookie Betts. So Mookie Betts has 4 postseason home runs. So there are 17 active players that have 9 or more postseason home runs in less at-bats. Let me read off some of those names. Travis d'Arnaud has 5 more home runs than Mookie Betts in less playoff at-bats. And now he has 6. That was his 6th most.
Yeah.
Kike Hernandez has more postseason home runs.
At least he's on the Dodgers.
In less at-bats. Yeah, he's sure, he wasn't on the team, and he's had 1 at-bat this series. And he's gotten an RBI. Chris Taylor is on that list, another Dodger who doesn't get at-bats right now. The team is just Will Smith. Talk about boring people. Will Smith. I'm going to say another hot take. Will Smith, I get that he's a very good catcher, and catcher is, when you find a catcher, hold on to one. The Dodgers have 2 high catching prospects. I would not be opposed to the idea of getting rid of Will Smith. I would not be.
Braves offer him Sean Murphy for Will Smith. Right?
I don't want a catcher back. Let one of the. Just if there's a guy who shows any personality at all in the minor leagues, I don't care if he has a 500 OPS, give him a shot over Will Smith. The Dodgers have to try something new. They have to try, but it's insane. It's the definition of insanity. It's doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. It's like when I was 9 years old on a computer, and I would click on a link and it wouldn't load, and then I would click again. It wouldn't load. I would click, just expecting it to load because I'm frustrated. That's what the Dodgers do. It's run the same roster back.
Specific example of using a computer at
I don't know. I'm angry. I'm not thinking rationally. It's pathetic, and they're going to try the exact same thing next year. The front office, Jerry Dipoto got in trouble the other day. I think for good reason, for saying that the Seattle Mariners, his job is to create a sustainable roster that wins 54% of the time, and he's doing a service to his fans by not winning the World Series. That is how the Dodgers approach baseball, and I think he said the quiet part out loud. That's how a lot of teams approach this thing. It's how can we create a sustainable winner, and the playoffs are random, and the playoffs are a total crapshoot. And I agree, the playoffs are pretty random, but that doesn't, there are strategies that work in the playoffs. There are things that are different that at this point, in your 11th year in a row in the postseason, you should figure out. There are you need to cultivate energy from a group. At the bottom of that is the thing you have to do first, no matter how good you are. You can't be robotic. We saw it with the Braves yesterday in Game 2. It's like the second they start doing things well, the crowd gets into it. There's a certain energy. That doesn't happen. They're expecting to fail at this point, and they should be. And they're going to run the same team back, and they're probably going to make 19 postseasons in a row, and they're not going to win a legitimate World Series. And they just need to try something new. I'm a big David Roberts fan. Just fire him at this point. Just try something new. You can't try the same thing over and over again because we know what's going to happen. You're going to lose to terrible fucking teams. I'm going to end on this. When the Dodgers lose to the Diamondbacks in this series, it will be their 3rd consecutive postseason of losing to a team that won less than 16 less games than them. Those are 3 of the top 6 margins in baseball history. For margins between wins and losses, and they have 3 in a row. Last year was the most embarrassing postseason exit I've ever seen, and I think this year might just.
It's going to one up it. Absolutely,
it's going to one up it. They said we can do this better. I'm done. I have nothing else to say. Pitiful, embarrassing, disaster. Try something new. Just try something new and see if it works. I would rather you lose 77 or win 77 games next year and try something new than watching the most vanilla baseball team pout in the postseason when they lose to the Rockies next year in the playoffs.
Rockies.
The last ones left.
The last ones.
Or the Giants.
For real. I know. Yeah. Wow.
That's all I have to say.
Bravo.
What's next? Let's talk about other teams.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll come in with the itinerary for the rest of the episode. I sanctioned 5 minutes for the rant. It was 10. That's fine.
That should have been expected. I could have gone for an hour.
Well, let us know if you want to hear Noah rant about the Dodgers for an hour. I'm sure when they lose Game 3 to the Diamondbacks.
No. Lance Lynn is starting. We're good. We're not going to start our best starter in the second half of the year, Ryan Pepio, in one game. We're going to go to Lance Lynn, and Clayton Kershaw can throw 86 miles an hour. Anyway, let's talk about there are other teams.
There are other teams in the playoffs. We're going to talk about them. Another controversial topic, I guess, is whether the new playoff format is to blame for this Dodgers problem at all. I'm gonna assume you say no, but it could be why we're seeing other top-seeded teams, quote unquote, choke. So we're gonna talk about that a little bit. We're gonna each choose our playoff MVP so far, and kind of pit them against each other, argue a little bit, and then we're going to predict the rest of the postseason. From where we stand right now, we understand that things are kind of in flux. Usually this is not a time-sensitive podcast, but with the playoffs in full swing, if you listen 3 days from now, it might be a little bit different.
It might be fun to listen a few days in advance because we will be very wrong.
Very, very
we'll have
wrong.
direct evidence of that.
Even,
or we might be very right. We might be prophets.
I'm going to be wrong. I know that I'm going to be wrong.
I know
really
you're going to be
predicting
wrong.
Things.
Yeah.
Like terrible, like god-awfully terrible. For somebody who thinks he knows a lot about baseball, I'm so bad at predicting. It's honestly...
I mean, it's incredible how unpredictable it really is.
That's why I don't bet. That's why I don't bet, because
Smart
I'm going to lose. I'm going to lose every time, and I'm going to be broke. So we're going to give you our revised predictions, and then we're going to wrap things up. It's spooky season. We thought it was a little bit too basic just to draft our favorite Halloween candies. This is the Worst Baseball Podcast, so we're going to be drafting the worst Halloween candies to wrap up today's episode. Let's start things off now that you're done ranting with, is the new playoff format the reason top seeds are choking? And
yeah.
I don't know. The thing is, I thought the baseball playoffs, I thought the format was perfect before they changed it. I love that exactly 1/3, 10 out of the 30 teams get in. I feel like that's the perfect amount to make the postseason. And the wild card game was always exciting. Always exciting. And the stakes to win that game were so much higher than even having best of 3 series now.
Yeah, the do or die game is awesome, just as a fan. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. And we didn't get any of them this year because all the wild card series games were series were sweeps.
Ended in 2, yeah.
And so that was not very fun, and I think people are complaining about that, but people are also complaining about this week off that we see with the top seeds. Like, the Orioles, I get, maybe the projections like Fangraphs and whatever, even though the Orioles won over 100 games this season, didn't favor them to go deep in the playoffs, but I can't help but think that this winning 2 games before coming in, I can't help but think that does more help for a team than having a whole week off. I mean, these players are conditioned to play 162 games in a season. They're at the end of this, they have this wind of energy that comes in when they make the playoffs. And then I feel like winning 2 wild card games to move, because that's a series at that point. That's more momentum than just a wild card game. I really feel like having that win is beneficial for teams going into the division series versus teams that have a week off and haven't seen action in a week.
I mean, I get the validity of your argument, but I disagree. I think there are far more advantages to getting that bye. I mean, think about the Braves and the Phillies, for example. Game 1, the Phillies threw 6 innings from their pen and started Ranger Suarez because they had to use Zach Wheeler to advance. They had to use Aaron Nola to advance. Meanwhile, you have, everybody's favorite pitcher, Spencer Strider, the hypothetical god on the other side, and that's a massive advantage for the Braves, and they lost the game, and it might have something to do with the layoff, but just like I was talking about in my rant versus the Dodgers, I think motivating yourself is part of the equation.
Yeah, but it's so much easier to do that when you're coming in off a series win versus having not played.
And there's another team they play that's done. There's I get okay.
Just baseball is such an intangible sport for me. Like, momentum is so much more important in baseball than I feel like in any other sport.
I don't disagree with that.
And we were at the Phillies game last Wednesday. We saw the energy in that ballpark. The Phillies were coming into Atlanta with 2 decisive victories over the division rival Marlins in that stadium that was absolutely electric. I mean, that was probably the most hostile and crazy baseball environment that I've ever been a part of, and it was for a freaking wild card
Poor
game.
Brian De La Cruz was just getting
oh my God,
absolutely
shredded in left field.
Yeah.
I mean, but the Phillies, that team is coming in having been rallied around for 2 games. Their fans showing out. They know what's waiting for them back home when the series inevitably goes back to Philly. Whereas the Braves fans, what do they have? They haven't had anything to cheer about yet.
Mm-hmm.
The Phillies have this momentum that's been injected into their veins going into this series with the Braves. And in baseball, I feel like that's so much more important than in any other sport because you've seen just what a crowd can do.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you there. And I'm sure there are, better formats that can be, thought of that can give the advantage a little bit more.
What's wrong with the old one?
Is it just there's nothing wrong with it. The MLB wanted
teams.
The MLB wanted more money. They wanted more games. They wanted more revenue.
Right. Well,
which I don't like either. But
listen, I'm fine with doing things to increase revenue. However, I feel like it's almost counterintuitive because now you have a team like the Diamondbacks. That's a small market team that MLB does not want advancing far through the playoffs from a monetary standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Almost guaranteed at this point to be going to the NLCS. They never would have even been in the equation if it was the old format. And now you have them picking up all this momentum from beating a division winner. That's another thing about this playoff format that I think is freaking stupid. A division winner has to play in the wild card series.
Yeah.
That's dumb. I really think that's dumb.
I would agree with you there. I think that's pretty dumb.
MLB doesn't want
frauds.
Right. MLB doesn't want the Diamondbacks advancing through the playoffs, but that's what they're getting because of this extended playoff format. And I guess the Blue Jays were the 6th seed there too, but they had a shot. The format brings more small market teams that MLB probably doesn't want getting hot and advancing through the playoffs for the sake of having 2 more teams make the playoffs. But for what? More games, more ad revenue on TV? Fewer people are going to be watching the longer the playoffs are. This is what I hate about the NBA playoffs. Is it's just insanely
the first round
long.
Is pointless.
Right, the first round's pointless. 16 teams getting in. I feel like I would hate to see MLB get to that point. But even where they're at now, I think is overkill and counterproductive for what they're trying to achieve.
Yeah, I think you make very valid points. I do think we've kind of overanalyzed this point. It's been a very small sample size. It's been 2 years. You've had an incredible team. Come through the wild card round in the Phillies both years.
Yeah,
that has
fair.
added and so much fuel to this fight. The Astros won the World Series last year from the bye standpoint.
No, that's true.
I think I agree with everything you're saying, but I think I disagree with one thing, and I think it is on you as a team. It is on you. It's part of why you hire certain managers. You have to create your own motivation in the playoffs, and I think you're right that winning a series, especially a best of 3 series as opposed to 1 game, really gives the team in the wild card position coming into the series a lot of momentum. But it's on the Braves, it's on the Dodgers to create that momentum organically. It's the playoffs. You should be motivated no matter what. You should say, okay, I want this team, they're hot. Everybody is picking them. They're a division rival. Like, we watched the game last night. That was an incredible game, too. Incredible double
amazing.
play.
It was great.
Incredible drama. There should be motivation that comes from that. I think there is maybe that game 1, it really is an advantage. But I think once you get into the rest of that series, you should be able to create your own momentum. And I think the Diamondbacks, the Diamondbacks would not be in the playoffs and then this old format.
Yeah.
But the Diamondbacks are coming in with the exact same attitude versus the Dodgers this year because they're the big brother. They're the division, that the team that's dominated this division for so long. I think you have to the Astros do such a great job at compartmentalizing and just winning baseball games and not, getting distracted by this outside noise. And I think it's just...
I'm curious what the score in that game is.
Yeah, that's a good question. I just think that...
5-0.
5-0 who?
Houston,
wow. Sonny Gray. Whew.
Yeah, no, I watched the first inning. He completely...
Oh, I didn't...
Yeah, Jose Abreu hit a tank.
I didn't even see the score at any point. But, yeah, there you go. the Houston Astros have woken up. They've kind of quieted that momentum
Right,
of the Minnesota Twins.
Right, but we've seen what they can do. I mean, this shouldn't be surprising anybody that the Houston Astros are able to overcome whatever quote unquote adversity they might.
And on the flip side of the coin, we've seen what the Dodgers can do, and they would probably lose. Not just being an annoyed fan, they would easily shit the bed versus a team that didn't have any momentum that they're better than.
That's true. I don't know. All I'm saying is I feel like it is almost a disadvantage to not play in the wild card series. Obviously, you want to avoid it if you can because it's another series you have to win. It's another opportunity that you're facing elimination. But I almost feel like it's a disadvantage because, like I said, it's just, yes, sure, teams should be able to motivate. These are professional baseball players. They're at the top of the top of their game. The best athletes in the world. Especially in the Orioles, the Braves, the Dodgers case, they're winning close to, if not over 100 games in the season. They should be able to motivate themselves. However, they don't. It doesn't change the fact that they don't have that wild card series to build momentum. Right? You can't do anything about that week off. It's just naturally going to be harder to build momentum if you have that week off versus you're coming in off a decisive win over a division rival with an insane crowd rallying behind you. Mm-hmm. It's just nothing you can do about it. And okay, fine, wild card game. In the old format, that's one game. That's different. And you're probably just as likely almost to win that on the road versus at home. And it's just not the same amount of layover time for the team that you're waiting to face. Mm-hmm. And then for the two, the top seed in the old format, the top seed in the American League or the National League faces that wild card team. But then those other two teams, the 2 seed and the 3 seed, they face each other. And so they're not that whole series isn't at a disadvantage. Whereas in this new wild card format, both division series games in both leagues are facing a wild card team coming off a hot series where they've built momentum and stayed in the rhythm of playing active games for a whole week. I mean, I just think that it's a disadvantage to have such a long layover. I mean, that's why I think even if you look at the All-Star break and when we talk about splits, what's the most common one we go to? First half, second half. Mm-hmm. That week-long break in the middle of the summer gives teams a whole, it kills whatever momentum they had going on, whether it's positive or negative, and it completely changes the dynamic of the season. I think it's the same for this week-long layoff that top seeds get going into the playoffs on the new format. Sure, small sample size, but from what I'm seeing so far, I'd love to see a switch back because A, I don't think it was flawed in the first place, and B,
I don't think it was flawed either.
Why wait 5 or 10 seasons under this new format to see if it's a pattern? At that point, you're going to be looking at the past 10 postseasons and be like, okay, well, what would that have looked like if we had the format that everybody liked in the first place? Yeah. So I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing a switch soon. I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think it's definitely not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I mean, baseball is doing great, revenue-wise.
Yeah. But people are complaining about this postseason for this reason, though.
I don't know if it's this reason. I think what bothered me a lot, I think you make valid points. What bothered me a lot about the discussions that have gone on is it's so centered around the Braves. And, the Phillies are just a damn good team. And the Phillies, they don't need to, have the momentum of the wild card series. If we skipped right to this Philly series and they didn't have to play Miami, I think it would be 1-1, right now too. And sure, I guess the Braves, their offense did take 15 innings to wake up. The Dodgers offense, has not been great. The Orioles offense was bad in game 1, but scored 8 runs in game 2. I think this is a discussion. I think we're reading too much into the momentum factor. What we love about baseball is the parity. It's the fact that, the wild card, or not the wild card, but the San Francisco Giants, who were average teams, won 3 World Series because they were able to build this momentum. And perhaps, this is a spring to start off with a little bit more momentum than other teams. But it's also a disadvantage, like arm-wise, like I said, and it's a disadvantage because you might lose a wild card series.
I mean, it definitely has its advantages and disadvantages. I just think that it is a bit more influential to have the whole wild card best of 3 series than having the one game, and I don't like that both division series, all 4 division series games, are wild card team versus division winner. I don't like that.
I do miss the one game. I mean, the one game was just incredible
It was
theater.
like my favorite game of the year.
Yeah, you're throwing every possible thing in your disposal just to win one baseball game.
And the emotion of having a 162 game season come down to one game is just it's unmatched.
It was perfect. And the 4 versus 5, the 2 wild cards, a lot of the times you got a lot of the times the top wild cards team or even the second wild card team can be better than the third division winner or even the second division winner. You just got some awesome games, and I would love to see that come back. I agree with you there. It's an interesting discussion.
For sure. Let us know your thoughts. We'll be listening. DM us. Let's talk about now our top performer so far and argue who is the playoff MVP as of right now. I know who yours is.
I want to hear yours.
Okay. I mean, I feel like despite everything what you said about the Dodgers losing rather than the Diamondbacks winning, I think you still have to give it to Corbin Carroll. I mean, he's been unbelievable. I actually am going to pull up his stats.
He's ridiculous. I've never seen a dude. The Diamondbacks are an average team. I stand by that. He is one of the best players in the league. He is one of my favorite players in the league.
He really is. I mean, he's batting .500, 2 homers already, 4 ribbies, a 1.632 OPS. To be a 23-year-old rookie and come into this league and do what he did during the regular season. I mean, there was really no learning curve for him. Obviously, I think he had 140 at bat, 114 at bats, something like that last year, and maintained his rookie status. But I mean, it's pretty rare to see a guy come in and just take the league by storm the way he did. I mean, he's going to finish top 10 MVP without question.
Top 5, maybe.
Top 5, I'd say top 6, without a doubt. 6th at worst. And now to step up in such a mature way and deliver against not only a division rival, but a division winner and the Los Angeles Dodgers in their own ballpark.
Yeah.
And he creamed the Brewers. The Brewers, he's a big reason.
The Brewers.
Wait, I don't get it.
Never mind. Isn't it Cream City, Milwaukee?
Oh, yeah, look
Cream
at that.
City.
Okay, I do get it. It was on purpose. I mean, he doesn't look like a 23-year-old rookie. He looks like a seasoned veteran, perennial MVP. And quite honestly, I think in 2 to 3 years, that's what we're going to be saying, especially if the Diamondbacks... Could be
next year.
Really, I mean, yeah, if the Diamondbacks maintain their status over the next several seasons as even a fringe playoff team, and they make it, and Corbin Carroll delivers in this way every year... I mean, you're going to be talking about him as like the new Mr. October.
Yeah.
He's really... I don't think that there's anybody who's been more valuable to their team's success so far this postseason than Corbin Carroll.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and shit on Corbin Carroll. He's been incredible. I mean, all 4 games on the road. Seems like every hit he gets to is in a massive spot.
Absolutely,
They were trailing in both games.
2-out singles.
Yeah, no. They're huge points in the game. He is their leader offensively. I mean, him and Christian Walker... It's incredible how poised he is for all the baseball talent he has as well.
He's so calm, cool, and collected. He's just, he's just so even keel, level-headed. Yeah. He's got all the tools of a superstar.
He's a six-tool player because he's got the mental stuff too. I mean, he's not poised. It's a luxury to have a player rise to the occasion in the post. I mean, you saw it with our discussion about Mookie Betts. Not every star player takes it to another level in October. To do that is incredible, and to do that right away, to ascend to the top of the sport right away, and then come to the playoffs and ascend even more, it's incredible. I'm not going to sit here and shit in Corbin Carroll. I
will, however, I don't like the goatee. I think his goatee is really hideous. I'm sorry.
I don't like it either, but he can do whatever he wants when he's this good.
Can he?
I mean... Yeah, why not? I'm not going to sit here and tell Corbin Carroll anything. He could have a handlebar mustache for all I care.
I think I'd prefer a handlebar mustache. The goatee,
I don't think it's bad.
Is,
I mean, it's not my favorite, but
I think
he's 23. He's probably just started growing facial hair like 3
I don't
4
know.
years
I'm 23
ago.
and I can't grow facial hair for shit. So
yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
I'm not really in a place to talk. But if I could, I wouldn't have a goatee. I'll put it that way.
I agree with you. I agree with you there. He's been an incredible part of the Diamondbacks' success. My player, and I'm picking him as MVP just because I think he has been more influential to his team than anybody else. That is Mr. Pablo Lopez. I mean, he has... I mean, what can you say? ERA under 1 in 2 starts, won both games. For me, the Diamondbacks came into the postseason without a lot of pressure. this year was a success no matter what. The Twins, it was not the case. There was more pressure on the Minnesota Twins.
For sure.
They needed to end this playoff win drought. He takes the ball in game one. The Twins can't lose game one of that series versus Toronto.
No.
He takes the ball, he shoves. He takes the ball, game two of the Astros series. They're down 1-0. They can't lose that game either.
Right. In Minute Maid Park.
In Minute Maid Park versus an incredible offense. He takes and a locked-in Yordan Alvarez, a locked-in Altuve. He takes the ball, he shoves. Both starts, they've needed him, and he has delivered. I mean, he's throwing the ball all over the plate. It's not just the left side of the plate, right side of the plate. It's everywhere. He's spraying.
I don't think I've seen better movement out of any pitcher this postseason. But just even watching Lopez, I mean, his stuff has been more electric than I've ever seen it.
It's incredible. He's so poised on the mound. I mean, and the tortured history of the Minnesota Twins just really emphasizes how incredible these performances are. I mean, the Minnesota Twins hadn't had a starter get 17 outs in the postseason since 2010. Carl Pavano, he's done it twice in a week.
Wow,
Carl Pavano.
Throwback.
This guy, he's 2-0, and his whip is 1-1-1. I mean, that's a great whip. He's faced two of the better offenses in the American League. There aren't enough words he has been their leader. I mean, their steadying force. I don't know where the Twins would be, without him. And I mean, he's basically been perfect this postseason. So is Corbin Carroll. I would love to see a Game 5 in Houston. Him, Verlander.
That'd be insane.
That would be incredible.
Absolutely insane. I don't think it's going to get there. But...
Yeah, we'll see. We'll save that.
We'll see.
But yeah, I mean, it's hard to differentiate between these two players, especially when there's a hitter and a batter. But I just think the Diamondbacks without Corbin Carroll, I mean, they won 11-2 in Game 1. They've been up 3 runs by the time the Dodgers come to bat both games, and a large part to do with that is Corbin Carroll. But I just don't know where the Minnesota Twins would be without Pablo Lopez, especially now that Sonny Gray's shit in the bed in Houston right now.
Yeah.
I mean, Ober didn't pitch well. They've gotten one good start from somebody not named Pablo Lopez this entire postseason.
No, that's true.
And they're having their most success in the postseason in 20 years. I mean, it's not even like their lineup played well in Game 2 versus Houston, but they're not really hitting that well besides Royce Lewis. This guy is just carrying them on their back. And for that, I would have to say he's the MVP. And yeah, I mean, he's a great pitcher.
I do want to say something, though. You know how I posted, you told me about the zip code for his pitching line the other day.
Uh-huh.
I wish I'd done a little bit more research before making that video, because you want to know what MLB has listed as his nickname is Pache.
Pache.
As in Christian Pache. Twins, Phillies, World Series.
Oh, my God.
That's freaking crazy.
It's written in the stars.
It's written. That's the script right there. Wow. I wish I'd seen that before.
We got the script. It was delivered a little bit late.
It's delivered a little late.
And the Twins are losing 5-0 right now. But... I mean, the script has been delivered.
Listen, I do agree that Pablo Lopez has been insane, but do you really think that the Diamondbacks would have been able to rally the way that they have without Corbin Carroll?
I think so. I mean, Ketel Marte is really hitting. Christian Walker's really hitting. I mean, Moreno looks incredible. He looks like one of the best young catchers in the league. That whole lineup, Lourdes Gurriel, had a home run and an RBI single last night.
Yeah, their whole offense has been great, but I feel like it's rallying around Carroll. I feel like he's really emerged as the leader here.
I also think Arizona has multiple ways of winning. Okay, if Zach Allen starts, we don't need to hit that much, and we can have him kind of try to pitch a gem, or we're playing Milwaukee, we need to get to these elite starting pitchers. The Twins, their formula is very simple. You need to not give up a lot of runs, and you need to go deep into the game so that you can get to that elite bullpen. And he's done that both times, both starts. You really couldn't ask for more for both these guys.
No, you couldn't.
Maybe we should put it to a poll.
Yeah.
Playoff MVP so far, Corbin Carroll versus Pablo Lopez. I would be very intrigued by those results because
I think that'd be.
There's not a lot differentiating those two guys,
except for the fact that one pitches and one hits.
And one pitches and one hits,
and
I think
from the Americas,
one has,
and the others from not.
Well,
America.
that has nothing
from
to
Venezuela.
Do. That has nothing to do with.
Well, I mean, you're talking about things that differentiate them. One's American.
Well,
one's
obviously,
not.
there's 25 million different
Pablo Lopez
differences
is 27.
Corbin
Carroll is 23.
Oh, from a human level,
Corbin Carroll wears number 7. Pablo Lopez wears number 49.
Pablo Lopez should win this poll.
7 goes into 49.
That's true. 7 times.
Times 7 is 49. I think we're uncovering a lot of things right here.
So the Twins over the Rangers in 7 in the
Yes.
ALCS.
Yes.
And then another 7 Twins over Phillies in Game 7 of the World Series. as Pablo Lopez throws a complete game and strikes out
7
Christian
batters.
Pache
Strikes
to end the game.
His 7th batter.
And the Phillies beat the Marlins. Pablo Lopez used to be on the Marlins. And the Marlins play in Miami. Lionel Messi plays in Miami. Lionel Messi is injured. And there's baseball players that are injured.
That's fucking crazy.
That's
dude.
crazy.
That's crazy.
Miami is in the U.S., where Corbin Carroll is born.
That's true. In Florida. And Florida was added to the Union in the year...
Florida
was added to the Union in 1845. The 27th state added to the Union. When was Arizona added to the Union?
1845.
1912. What's 48 minus 27?
21. Which is divisible by 7. Bang. Bang.
Crazy.
That's it.
Absolutely insane.
You just heard the script.
All right, we need to
move on.
We need to move on.
We need to move on, and we're talking about some of the better players in the playoffs right now. But I just want to hear your thoughts on the playoffs right now, because this thing has been unpredictable. There are tons of contenders, tons of storylines. Take it. Where do you think it's going to go?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think like the way the ALCS is headed right now. Obviously, it's an easy thing to say the Astros are going to win, but that was my pick beforehand anyway. I think most people probably had the Astros, so I'm gonna go Houston in the ALCS for sure. I think the Rangers finish off the sweep tonight. Orioles just don't. I said Oriole, one singular Oriole. I just don't think the Orioles have what it takes to mount a comeback. The wind is taken out of their wings.
Oh, good one.
Thank you. Their
wing. Their Oriole.
Yes. No, it's even one Oriole still has 2 wings.
I know. That's not the joke I was trying to make. But if you have to explain a joke, it's not a good joke. So.
All Texas ALCS is my prediction.
Okay.
And then let's go to the National League. I'm going to say I think that the Phillies and Braves go 5. The Phillies are moving on. D-backs squeak through. Wouldn't be surprised to see a sweep. Wouldn't be surprised to see a 5-game win.
4-game win?
4-game win. Yeah. 4. I can't count. So I think it's... So my championship series, my final 4 is...
Houston,
Texas.
That is where it's located.
Yes, Texas-Houston.
Houston.
Rangers, Astros. Rangers, Astros, much easier.
Phillies,
Diamondbacks, yeah. I say Phillies beat Braves in 5.
Okay, and then I think the Rangers do finish off the Orioles in 3. I think the Diamondbacks finish off the Dodgers in 3. And then I think the other 2 series both go 5. I'm going to say Minnesota wins the Joe Ryan game, and I'm going to take the Astros in 5 in a pitcher's duel. They have the experience, and then I'm going to
see that series go 5.
The Phillies in 5 as well, maybe even 4.
We're agreeing.
Yeah, we're agreeing, and then we have the same Final 4.
Okay, so same Final 4.
Texas, Houston, who's winning?
I have Astros in 7.
I got Rangers in 6.
Wow, 6.
6. I think the Rangers are the better team right now. Especially if Max Scherzer comes back. I would love to see Justin Verlander versus Max Scherzer just to piss on the grave of the Mets. Just one last final blow into the season from hell.
What was that motion?
It was like a stab, like a blow, like in the midsection, like a stab, like a blow.
Okay.
Just like a sharp object into the stomach.
I understand
just like the last blow.
Thanks.
And then, so I'm going to take Texas. You're going to take Houston. We differentiate. And, I don't think there's any way you're going to pick the 84-win Arizona Diamondbacks to beat the Phillies, but maybe you will.
No, but I think that they're going to give them a run for their money. I have both the ALCS between the Rangers and the Astros and the NLCS between the Phillies and Diamondbacks going 7 games. Just for fun. I love 7-game series.
We got to see one do-or-die baseball game.
We really got to.
I would like more, but at least one.
Yes, absolutely. I say 2. I say we get 2.
I say 3.
Each, okay.
I say 3. I think we're getting 2 Game 5s, and I got 1 Game 7 left in me.
Okay, so my World Series is Astros, Phillies.
Okay, all right.
Repeat of last year, rematch.
Rematch. I'm gonna take it. So I took Texas. So obviously we're not getting a rematch, but I do think the Philadelphia Phillies.
Are we going too hard in on the Phillies?
I don't think we are. I mean, Zach Wheeler looks like a top 3 pitcher in the postseason. He proved it last year. I mean, Aaron Nola is a great number 2. Their rotation is there. Their arms are there. I mean, they've really pitched fantastic, like through 4 games in the playoffs. They have the top of their order. You go from Schwarber to Turner to Harper to Bohm to Real Muto, who's hit 2 home runs this postseason, to Bryson Stott, who's just an incredible at-bat every time.
Yeah.
I think earlier in the year when we talked about our franchise rankings, I didn't put the Phillies too high because I didn't believe in their young core. I have changed my mind. I'm fully in on Bryson Stott. I think he's an incredible player.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think we're going too hard into the Phillies. I think whoever wins the Braves-Phillies will dispose of the Diamondbacks in max 5 games. So so we got Astros-Phillies rematch and we got Rangers-Phillies.
Yeah.
Ranger on the Phillies.
Ranger Suarez.
I mean,
it's a good season
the
to be
stars
named.
are
It's
aligning.
a good postseason to be named Ranger.
It is a very good postseason. They haven't lost.
No.
5-0.
No, you're right.
4-0 for the Texas Rangers. Ranger Suarez won the game he pitched in.
My parents almost named me Ranger.
Thank God they didn't.
So my World Series, I got a rematch of last year, and I'm saying the result's going to flip this year. I'm all in on Philly. I think there's definitely a potential that we're going in a little too hard on them. I think just because of what we saw them do last year and the way that they have been playing so far this postseason, it does make a lot of sense, and it's kind of an easy, quote, underdog prediction because they were a wild card team, but they have all the makings of a World Series championship team. I think that, like I said earlier, and I said this a few episodes ago, I just love that 2015 Kansas City Royals dynamic where you have the underdog team fall short.
Unfinished business,
come back the next year and claim the crown. I think it's a good storyline. I think that the pitching does prove to be the difference maker in the World Series against the Astros this year. I mean, it was a different rotation last year in a lot of ways. Verlander was not the Cy Young this year.
Mm-hmm.
Christian Javier has been very shaky all season.
Framber
Valdez
has not been
good in the second
recently.
half at all. So, I mean, I think they're coming in on shakier legs than they were last year. I still think they have, absolutely the ability to make it to the World Series and potentially even win it. If I'm going to put my money on any American League team at this point, it would be Houston. But I think that the Phillies, like I said, unfinished business. I think they're going to come in and take it this year.
All right.
I wouldn't be surprised, though, if it is Texas because they look pretty sharp as well. And then you just talked about him a little bit. My World Series MVP is Bryson Stott. I think he's coming in.
I love it. That's bold.
Yeah, I think he's coming in with a few just major knocks. And I don't know. I feel like World Series MVP, it's never like necessarily the guy you expect. Steve Pearce.
Yeah.
Jeremy Pena. So
it doesn't even appear to be that good of an MLB player.
He really doesn't.
Won World Series MVP as a rookie.
It's crazy. I mean, like he's good, he's a very good defender, but he's still young.
He'll be good. He'll be good, but
for sure. But no, my World Series MVP is Bryson Stott. I think he just has that like big hit potential. Like we saw him hit that grand slam last Wednesday. It was awesome.
Big knock last night.
Phillies in 6 over Houston. Would that mean they win it in Philadelphia? No, that would have.
How many games did the Phillies win this year? I was thinking because the Astros and Rangers won 90. I don't know if Philly won 91.
I don't think they won. Did they? I don't
think
know.
Look it up quickly because that matters. I think the Phillies won somewhere between 89 and 91 games.
The Phillies won 90.
Wow, so they have the exact same record. All 3 teams we have in the World Series, Rangers, Astros, Phillies, have the exact same record.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I don't know how home field would work. But I'm going to take...
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I haven't even thought about that. Wow. If you know, let us
know. While I'm
talking,
talking, look up the tiebreaker. I'm interested in that.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm going to take the Texas Rangers over the Philadelphia Phillies. I'm going to say 7 games, no matter what home field it's on. I think that the Rangers are a very well-constructed baseball team for October. Obviously, their main concern is the bullpen, but they've looked pretty good so far. If anything derails them, it's going to be that. It's not going to be their offense. It's not going to be their starting pitching. I mean, Nathan Eovaldi has shown it in the postseason before. Corey Seager has shown it in the postseason before. Max Scherzer would potentially be back for the ALCS. I'm going to take the Rangers over the Phillies in 7 games. I think their offense is just too much, and I'm going to pick World Series MVP for the second time in his career in the second different league, Corey Seager. I think he...
No, that I could definitely.
I don't know. I mean,
sure.
I was going to say something earlier about there's just like a certain confidence you have when you see a player in the box in the playoffs that you just have faith in them. Corey Seager, I mean, every single time he steps up to the plate in the postseason. I mean, he walked 5 times the other day. It's a product of how good of a hitter he is, how scary he is for the other team to face. I think he adds a second World Series and a second World Series MVP to his collection. Rangers over Phillies in 7.
Okay, so here's the tiebreaker that I've gathered right now is if it's the Phillies versus the Astros. So first is decided by their record.
Mm-hmm.
Next is decided by their head-to-head record.
Okay.
And so I don't know if they've played each other this year.
I don't think the AL West played the NL East this year.
I mean, they must have.
I don't recall an Astros-Phillies series. I feel like we would have recalled a World Series.
No, you're right. What was the opening series of the season? Was it Astros-White Sox, I think?
I don't know.
Because I remember Dylan C. said it
Look it up. Astros-Phillies head-to-head.
But what's crazy is after the head-to-head, if they haven't played head-to-head, then it goes to intra-division records. So the team against their division, what their record is, Astros are 28-18 against the AL West. Phillies are 28-18 against the NL East.
Wow. So what's the next
then after that, it goes
Philly
to inter-division record.
Okay.
And I don't even know what this means anymore. So honestly, we're just gonna have to wait.
I think that's their record versus the West. Well, there are other 2 divisions
in their league. Okay, so let's see maybe.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. So the Astros.
No,
the Astros are under. No, the Astros are under 500 versus the East and the Central. So
wait. No, that was intra. Oh man, now I'm confusing everybody.
Well, either way, if it's a tie, it goes to the other.
Right, but I don't think that I don't know. I can't.
I know. This is great podcasting, great showing. I mean, okay, the Houston Astros are 3 games under 500 versus the AL East and the AL Central. The Philadelphia Phillies are 5 games over 500 versus the NL East and NL Central. So the Phillies would host the Astros, and the Phillies would also host the Texas Rangers.
Okay, so Phillies, if they make the World Series, they're going to have home field advantage.
Yes.
Unless the Orioles or the Twins.
No, they have better record than the Twins.
The Twins, true. So probably not against the Orioles.
So if the Orioles lose tonight and the Phillies make the World Series, they are hosting the World Series.
Okay. Good information. Took us a while to get there. Thank you for being smarter than me and figuring that out. I think it's time for our candy draft.
I love candy. By the time the World Series rolls around, it will be Halloween.
It will be Halloween.
So,
and I don't know if we're gonna get another recording in. So we're talking about Halloween. It's officially spooky season, and yeah, I think we're gonna jump right into it. We're drafting worst Halloween candies and advocating for why we think they're so terrible. This potentially
is a polarizing topic. This is polarizing.
I'm not holding back with my takes.
All right, so are we drafting rock, paper, scissors, shoot, then pick, or are we coming up with a list?
No, we're drafting.
Okay, so let's rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Rocky, paper, scissors?
No, not again.
But you won.
Okay. I like it. I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
Rocky, paper, scissors, shoot.
Mother of God!
We could play 100 times in a row. I'd win 100. I don't lose a rock,
do you shoot rock every time?
I don't.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch the tape
because... and I'll adjust and I'll win next time. I don't lose rock, paper, scissors, shoot. I'm guaranteeing the next time we rocky, paper, scissors, shoot, scissors, shoot. That's a tongue twister. The next time we do whatever that is called on the podcast, I will win. With my first...
I don't know how. Every time. We've played probably 5 or 6 times at this point. I've lost every time.
I mean, I'm not lying. I just don't lose those rock.
Okay.
I mean, I'm undefeated all the time. I'm world champ. Okay, my number 1 pick for the worst candy in, the worst Halloween candy to receive trick-or-treating. I think this should be undisputed. I'd be shocked if it's not on your list. It's an Almond Joy. I mean...
Oh, phew. Thank you. I was worried that I was going to take Almond Joy and you were going to, argue with me.
Shit on it? No.
I literally said earlier that I think you just seem like an Almond Joy guy.
How dare you? First of all, how dare you? Second of all, thank God I won Rocky, Paper, Scissors, Shoot to steal the number 1 pick. I mean, it's simple math. It's simple logic here, You're comparing things like chocolate, creamy peanut butter, caramel, nougat, almond. Even the word sounds horrible. Almond. End of story. Almond Joy, first pick.
Yeah, I mean, there is just like no greater disappointment when I was a child than
Ugh.
reaching into my Halloween bag and picking out a Mountains
I
or an
wouldn't eat
Almond
them.
Joy.
I wouldn't eat them.
And what the fuck is the difference between a Mounds and an Almond Joy anyway? Why do we need two types? They're equally as bad.
Equally as bad.
I think one has one almond and the other has two almonds. I think I'd rather have whichever one has two almonds.
Okay. I want 0 almonds.
I want zero coconut. I want zero coconut.
Really? You don't like coconut?
Fuck coconut.
You don't like coconut water?
Ew.
Oh, that's crazy.
Ew.
Oh,
coconut? No.
Oh, that's crazy to me. Coconut water is one of the most refreshing things.
If you like coconut,
planet.
then what do you have against Almond Joy?
The almond. I don't like almond in. It's also candy. It's like saying I like strawberries. I don't want a whole strawberry in my candy.
I would love a chocolate-covered strawberry.
Okay, but as a child,
Yes, I love chocolate-covered strawberries as a child.
I like pears. I don't want pears in my candy.
Okay, that's valid.
I want sugar. I want grossness.
Though.
I want my teeth to feel bad. And an almond, it's just crunchy. I don't like it at all. Also, this is a veteran take by me. Halloween, you're putting down all that candy, your teeth start to feel weird, and then it hurts to eat crunchy things. So I don't want an Almond Joy.
You
didn't eat enough. I'm gonna win this draft. You didn't eat enough. You didn't eat enough Halloween candy.
I've got a major sweet tooth, buddy.
Okay,
go
with your first pick.
I think you just have weird ass teeth. My first pick. Now that Almond Joy is off the board, I'm going with hot tamales.
Oh, I had that on my list, but I called it red tamales. But you are right. Now that I
think that's just a red pepper at that point. Hot tamales. Who the fuck wants spicy Halloween candy? It's disgusting. It's like one of those bad jelly beans from the Bamboozle game.
I didn't know you had no
it's like
spice tolerance.
I like spicy things, but not in my candy.
He has no spice tolerance.
That's not true. I like spicy things. Whatever. If that's what it takes to take hot tamales, I'll die on that hill. Just give me Mike and Ike's. They're the same shape as Mike and Ike's. They just taste like ass. I don't understand. They're not good. They're not good, but like Mike and Ike. Like I'd so much rather have Mike and Ike. Like I don't even like Mike and Ike.
It's also more fun to say.
Yeah, absolutely. Mike and Ike. Mike and Ike.
Mike and Ike.
But they're not even that. Mike and Ike's aren't even that good. But at least they don't want to make me scrape my taste buds off. Like hot tamale is absolutely garbage. Garbage. I'd give them my dad.
I think
maybe when I'm a dad, I'll like them, but I don't know.
Yeah.
No, they're terrible. Number one, hot tamales. They're trash.
I think you reached a little. I'm not the biggest fan of a red tamale, or hot tamale, but I think you reached a little. I won't
even eat them. I won't eat them if they're in my bag.
All right. So we've both taken a candy we refuse to eat. My number 2 pick. I just had to burp. My number 2 pick is a pixie stick.
Oh.
A pixie stick. I mean, not only is it disgusting and it doesn't taste good, and I'm not biting it, so like, ew. It is probably, I think, for every, how would you call that? Not a bite. Every drink.
Like it's not a drink.
Gulp.
Pour.
Every pour.
Every tongueful.
No, I don't like that. Every pour of pixie stick.
Every hit.
It's like a Smartie.
Stick.
Every hit of a pixie stick
Smarties are fire,
dust, I think, takes probably 42 days off your life. Like every single one. No, I think I actually underestimated.
I mean, it's just straight sugar. Like, what's not to like? I like them. I'm not thinking about my lifespan when I'm eating Halloween candy.
Oh, pixie stick is just, I could consume less better tasting sugar. Like, it's just horrible. I mean, I wouldn't put one of those things in my body if it was the last, if I was dying, there was a zombie apocalypse and I hadn't eaten in days and I found a pixie stick.
You have low blood sugar. Somebody hands you a pixie stick. You're not drinking, eating it, whatever you do with it. Gulping.
Hitting. Hit the pixie stick.
Tongue swallowing it.
I hit my pixie stick pick with my number 2 pick.
All right. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I can see where you're coming from. My next pick, I'm going to go with, this one's, I'm debating between a couple here, but I got to go with Good and Plenty / black licorice. It's not...
It's gross.
It's terrible.
I had it on my list.
Are you 97 fucking years old?
Yeah.
There's nobody I've ever met who likes this aside from my grandfather. Absolutely disgusting. This shouldn't be a controversial opinion. I don't think anybody listening to this right now. And, then to boot, the next day, your shit is green.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that?
I have not noticed that.
It's a known thing. It's a known thing with black licorice and Good and Plenty.
What is licorice?
I don't know. It's probably licorice.
Licorice.
That's not a hard word to say. I think that's a you problem.
Speak for yourself.
I mean, what is it? I think it's just pectin and gelatinous type stretchy. I like Twizzlers.
Twizzlers are delicious.
Twizzlers are good. Twizzlers are really good. You ever try to like bite the ends off and then like sip a Sprite through it? Never worked.
It's
but
it's a makeshift pixie stick. You can make it into.
You want to know what's trash though? Is like those other flavored Twizzlers, like the orange.
Oh,
Twizzlers,
I like the strawberry
ones.
Twizzlers. You don't like the strawberry Twizzlers?
What's the normal flavor? Is it cherry or
Cherry,
strawberry?
I think.
Is it?
I
I
think
thought there's
a slightly different Twizzler that's
Whatever
also
it
red
is,
that
no.
you can peel like one at a time. Those are fantastic.
Oh, those are terrible.
You're a closed-minded human being.
I'm not a closed-minded human being.
You're
those
a
are disgusting.
human being.
Those are disgusting.
Wow, you have such varying opinions of.
Well, we agree
Twizzlers
on some things.
Black licorice, disgusting.
Trash, get it out of
Red
here.
licorice, great. Other flavored licorice, disgusting. I mean, you're just very opinionated.
I like Twizzlers. That's about it. Regular standard Twizzlers. There's no need to change anything about them. Black licorice makes me poop green. It reminds me of how terrible my experience the day before was eating them. That's my number 2 pick.
Okay, my number 3 pick is a Butterfinger.
Oh my God! I had it on my list. I thought it was going to be I thought you were going to get all over me for that.
Oh, get all over you. What choice of words is that? I think okay, so we're in agreement. Butterfinger, just not very tasty. Just not very tasty. Kind of gross.
I'm going to have to improvise here. My list is dwindling.
It's just not a good tasting candy. I mean, I like the chocolate outside, but the inside is too wafery and bulky and just it's crunchy. I want creamy. I don't want crunchy. I want Cream City, Milwaukee. I don't like Butterfingers. They're all gross. They like come. I don't like their packaging. I don't like their packaging. Like a Snickers, it's very easy to just take out because it's a little bit smaller than the package. The Butterfinger is the size of the package and it bleeds all over the fucking package.
My main gripe with Butterfingers is that they're broken into 30 million pieces by the time I get them home, and then I'm eating Butterfinger dust and it sticks to my freaking
That's
teeth.
a problem with the packaging too.
Yeah.
It's construction. Maybe
we're in agreement on Butterfingers. I think that's going to cause some controversy.
Okay.
Because I
I
can't
don't
believe
think anybody's
both had it
dying on the
my
Butterfinger
list.
hill. Like
I don't know. There's got to be a passionate Butterfinger enjoyer out there.
a Butterfinger enthusiast.
Yes. Okay. I think my next pick is going to ruffle some feathers, though. I'm going to go with Reese's Pieces.
Get the fuck out.
Reese's the Pieces.
You're doing that. Okay, that's clear engagement farming.
This is not engagement farming. This should not be a hot take.
That's insane.
This should not be a hot take.
That's the hottest take I've ever heard.
The Pieces? I'm not talking cups here. I'm talking pieces. You're telling me it's the same peanut butter?
I just heard the word Reese's and I shut off.
Okay, well, premature reaction.
It's still very good. It's not as asinine of a take. It's still a very good candy,
not the same,
and I strongly disagree with you, but give me your case.
It's not the same peanut butter as in the cups. They say that it is, it's straight up not. The ratio of candy shell to filling is just off. They're too small. I'd rather have a peanut butter and M&M, because that's like real peanut butter in there instead of whatever weird like tan-colored shit they put inside a Reese's cup. No, Reese's Piece.
A Reese's Pieces piece.
A Reese's Pieces piece. And they're just crunchy and cloyingly sweet garbage.
What word did you
Cloying.
What the hell does that mean?
Cloying. Just like,
Spell it.
Like, I think it's CLOYING. It's like,
What the hell does it mean?
Just like,
let me look this up. Cloying?
Cloying.
I've never heard that word in my life.
Cloying. Anyway, it's just like cloying sweet garbage. Excessively sweet, rich, or sentimental, especially to a disgusting or sickening degree. It's the perfect word to describe
No,
Reese's
but they're
Pieces.
not the mock sentence, a romantic, rather cloying story.
That's a weird example. That's a really weird example. We need to stop being a
That's
dictionary.
a good word.
Thank you. You can
never
integrate
heard
it
that
into your
word.
you can integrate it into your vocabulary.
I will.
There's no substance. There's nothing complex about this candy. I feel like this is probably enjoyed somewhere in like Kansas or Nebraska.
Oh, that's.
And
What does that mean?
They're redundant.
What do you mean by
also.
that? What do you mean by that? What are you insinuating about that area?
That modern candy hasn't made its way there yet, so they have no choice but to enjoy their taste buds is not developed to appreciate good candy.
That's rude. I didn't get rude.
Reese's
Didn't
Pieces.
need to get rude. To,
Reese's Pieces. I'm
argue for
sorry,
my
Middle
candies.
America. I'm sorry, flyover country. But
Those are your
probably
favorite
like,
states, Ohio too.
That's not the same spot as
It's
Nebraska.
Middle America.
That's whatever. Move on.
Okay.
This isn't the states draft. That was episode 2 or 1.
You're gonna lose that. You lost that one. You're gonna lose this one too. My fourth pick is. I think this is the value pick of the draft. It's Circus Peanuts.
Who the fuck is giving out circus peanuts on Halloween?
I don't know where you trick or treated.
You trick or treated in New Jersey, so that actually explains a lot.
Look it up. It's Circus Peanut. Is a Circus Peanut Halloween candy. I think
There's not going to be a decisive answer. I know what a circus peanut is. I've never received a circus peanut on Halloween.
It's horrible tasting. and the texture
It's like
is
eating
gross.
styrofoam peanuts.
And yeah, it's like eating a foam finger. I'm out on circus peanuts.
I'm also out on circus
Our
peanuts, but I don't
Circus
agree.
Peanuts Halloween candy.
Oh!
Read that
Stand
to the
up.
camera.
In
Read that to
2018,
the
they were
camera.
named the
first
worst.
link.
They were named the worst
first link.
Halloween candy. Okay, fine. I'll give it
Do
to
we
you.
even need
based
to
on the
finish
one
the draft?
Google-
I mean, who
They
said
didn't
that?
even
Who
cross
said
the-
that?
I don't know. I closed the tab.
No,
already.
go back.
We don't need to go back.
All right, you explain. You go to your next pick.
Okay, is this number 4 for me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna take for me this. I think might also be controversial. This is Sporked.com.
Sporked.com has determined that I have won the Halloween candy.
Reliable source. My number 4 pick, I think I am going to ruffle some feathers again, but I will die on this hill, is Skittles.
You don't like Skittles?
They're fine. And like once a year I'm in the mood for Skittles and I enjoy them, but they give me some variety. They're all the same flavor. Like a
Well, you
yellow
can get
Skittle.
sour Skittles, you can get tropical Skittles.
Yeah, sour Skittles are good. I like sour Skittles. But they're all
flavors.
no. I mean like all in one bag of Skittles, they're all the same flavor. Like a yellow one tastes the same as a purple one.
Okay.
Like they don't have varying
Lots of
flavors.
candies are the same flavor.
Well, no, I mean, yeah, right, but this is my problem like with Reese's Pieces too. They're all the same. But like M&Ms, for example, like the yellow one will taste different than the brown one.
That is not true. That is just not. They're chocolate. Mm-hmm. They're all this.
No,
Skittles taste more different than M&Ms do.
No, Skittles are literally all the same flavor.
Okay, so are M&Ms.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not. Like a red M&M is different.
Chocolate. It's chocolate with
with like red on the outside versus green.
What flavor is a red M&M?
I don't know what flavor is red Gatorade. People talk about Gatorade and like colors.
Like cherry or something like that. A yellow, it's what? A blue. I don't even know. That was a crazy take. I mean, M&Ms are all the same flavor. There's
no, they're not.
Next podcast. I'm gonna get a pack of M&Ms and you're gonna taste them blind.
I'll tell you each single one of them. I'll tell you every single one of them. I don't what are you even fucking talking about?
That's just crazy.
Ask anybody on the street and they'll say M&Ms are different flavors and Skittles are the same.
That's insane. I think everybody would disagree.
Regardless, they're. I'm not trying to taste the rainbow. I'll pass. They're fine. They're fine, but like there's so many better options out there. There's no circumstance that I would opt for Skittles aside from like once in a year when I'm weirdly in the mood for them, which happened to be like 2 weeks ago and I bought some Skittles.
Okay.
That does not change my opinion.
Okay. All right. I think you got a little controversial. I want to get a little controversial with my last pick. I'm going to take a Snickers, a widely regarded candy.
I got to do
that I just don't like. I don't like Snickers. I don't want all that. It's nougat, it's a little too crunchy for me. I want creamy. That's been a theme of this draft. I want creamy. They do have funny commercials. I mean, in every comparable candy, give me the other candy. Give me the Milky Way. Give me the Reese's Pieces. Give me the Twix. Give me the Kit Kat. It's just, the Snickers is like the worst team in a really good division. It's like the Red Sox. They're going to finish last because their comparable candies are just better. So
okay.
Give me your last pick.
I love Snickers, but I do understand that most people, it's not one of their favorites. But you're not you and you're hungry. You might just be hungry and need a Snickers.
It's true. I am pretty hungry.
Maybe get a Snickers. Okay. In my 5th and final pick in this draft, I'm going to go with Jolly Ranchers.
Jolly Ranchers.
I feel like those. I get when I was a child, I got like a strangely high number of Jolly Ranchers in my Halloween bag. And, okay, the green ones make me cough. I don't know if that's a me problem.
I don't like the green flavor.
The green ones, it doesn't taste good and it makes me cough. It makes me wheeze. It makes me... It makes me do that. I can do it just thinking about what it tastes like in my throat. It's weird. I don't like it. It's like the type of thing that I feel like you go up to some old lady in your neighborhood's house and it's just like she's had him in her cabinet for like 30 years. She doesn't know what month it is.
Have they even existed for 30 years?
They have been around for, I guarantee you, I'll bet $5.
1993?
Absolutely.
I think the Jolly Rancher...
I'll bet you Jolly Ranchers have been around since 83. That's 50 years. No, that's not. That's 40 years.
I think late...
I can't do math.
I think it might be this century. So I'll take the other side. I think...
All right. Okay. When were Jolly Ranchers invented? They gotta be old as shit. 1949.
What?
They're sucking candies.
Okay.
I guarantee you I've gotten at least one Jolly Rancher when I was trick-or-treating, that was produced in 1949.
That's Wikipedia.
So what? They're reliable for information like that.
Penn State says there's Penn State.
Penn State
says it's
Why
true.
is there
All
a
right,
Penn
you're
State
right.
University article about the origin of Jolly Ranchers?
History of candy.
Bill and Dorothy Harmson. I would guess that this was made
I
by
like
somebody.
Jolly Ranchers. But
They're okay. I like the watermelon ones. I like the cherry ones. But the other three flavors are kind of trash. The green ones make me cough. It's a crapshoot what you get. You know, you could take old lady's taking a handful. You could get 7 green ones and 3 blues and a grape, and you're like, well, what am I supposed to do with these?
Okay, fair. I like the blue raspberry. I like the watermelon. Look at the recent comments on this Jolly Rancher article. Let me read you the 5 most recent comments. Dead Skeletor on Warheads. Skeletor on Warheads. Jones on Three Musketeers.
This is just a forum for people talking
Almond
about candy?
coupons on Three Musketeers. Almond coupons on Three Musketeers.
Those
are
like
2 great candies.
names.
Actually, 2 candies I had on the list: Warheads and Three Musketeers.
Three Musketeers are good. Warheads are trash. I would easily have taken Warheads.
Yeah.
But,
all right. Well, we'll see.
Well, that's it. We'll see. We'll see what the people think. I don't know. I feel like maybe my Reese's Pieces pick might give you the win. Not sure.
Your picks in general might give me the win.
Whatever, man. I'm here to express my opinions. I'm not gonna.
But they're wrong.
There's no such thing as a wrong opinion.
I just heard some.
Whatever. That's a podcast. We talked about baseball. We talked about Halloween. We talked about candy. I don't like Reese's Pieces. Noah doesn't like how the Dodgers are playing.
I forgot about it for like 30 minutes. I got excited. Now I'm sad again.
Well, you got a whole walk home to think about something else, buddy.
Thanks.
Thank you for listening. Follow us on Instagram if you're not already, although I don't know where the hell else you'd be coming from. That's at the worst MLB. Enjoy these playoffs. Pretty exciting stuff so far. Hopefully we get some more games like Braves, Phillies, Game 2.
I want a Game 7.
Yeah.
I want to watch a Game 7.
But thank you so much for listening. Sayonara.